Trying.
Your presence thrive.
Good morning, everyone. It is Social Surge. Happy Tuesday. I can't believe it's August. It's like the second week of August already. It's freaking crazy. Crazy. Today on Social Surge, we are talking about your social media strategy also needs a search strategy.
Yes.
Your social media strategy also needs a search strategy. So instead of just thinking about creating content, we also need to think about how is this content going to get found, right? And this goes in with everything that we've been talking about with SEO, AEO, and GEO. So remember that SEO, it's still going, the music. SEO is help me get found. AEO is help me answer the question. And GEO is those generative operating systems, helping them, that generative AI, understand and potentially use your expertise. Good morning, Brent Pennington, who's joining us over on the Gram. We are talking about your social media strategy needs a search strategy as well. Hey, Lev, can you turn off the music? I'm Mo Regalado. Over there and down below is my ride or die, my boo, Hector Regalado, who's joining me this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, DB. We had a couple of technical difficulties before the show went on. It was very strange. Never had an issue with StreamYard before. Went to go live. Music was right on time. Everything. We were on cue this morning.
Yes, we were.
And then we get a message from StreamYard saying traffic is unusually high.
What?
Yeah, right? Like,
Surprise.
What traffic? So yeah, we get this pop-up. This traffic is unusually high. Please try to start your live stream in 30 to 60 seconds. Okay. All right. That's what we do. So that's what we did. And it's just kind of funny. It's funny how this kind of goes to what we talked about before. We rely on these tools to work all the time. And then when they don't work, it's just like, what happened? Okay.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Yeah. You know me. You know I panic. I panic and I get angry.
What? No.
What? No. Okay. No. So your social strategy needs a search strategy. And it is because all of your social content is, as long as your profile is open, and if you are in business, it should be, all of your social content is searchable, indexable, and discoverable by generative AI, by the answer engines, and by traditional search engines.
Right.
You know, think about a piece of content that you did in the last 5 posts that you published.
Okay.
You probably thought about the hook. You thought about how the graphic was going to look. You're worried about the caption and the copy. You probably thought about hashtags and were like, do I do hashtags or not do the hashtags? I mean, you maybe even thought about the algorithm. But did you think about what search you were trying to win?
Good question.
If somebody searches LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, or ask an AI platform related to your expertise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does your content help them find you?
Really, very right now, that is a big question, right? Everybody should be by now starting to experience some of that AI searchability, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a client recently who contacted us to tell us that, hey, we got our first AI lead, so it looks like it's working, which is great. Sadly, it wasn't something that they deal with. However, they'll get a referral fee from it. But I mean, it's still the person who called them up did a search in Safari, as a matter of fact. So they did a Safari search, and their content, they did, I guess Safari has an AI component to it. And yeah, and they found them that way. And so it was really, really fascinating that they could pinpoint that this is, they asked, how did you find out about it? So I did a search on Safari and it gave me these AI answers, and you guys were the first ones that came up. And so that person called. So it's just kind of an interesting, like, I was really excited. I'm not going to lie. I was super excited. But then I was like, wait a minute. Do you guys deal with that? I was like, no. we'll get a referral fee, and money is money. I'm like, okay. So that tells me that, yes, you are popping up, which is good, because I really wish they had clarified like what the search terms were. That would have helped me out quite a bit. But that's just the idea of like, hey, how are we adjusting this content so that those keywords that we're looking for and that we're trying to do are popping up. Right. So, Google is pulling information from websites. Right. SEO is still fundamental to AI powered search. Please do not get it wrong. Good morning, Alan Buchanan, by the way. Good morning. Loved all of your pictures that you had with you and your grandson out fishing. You guys were in kind of in our neck of the woods. You guys were in Seattle, right? Fishing out there. Ew, you went to the gum wall. That is the most disgusting, like vomit-inducing location in pretty much. Yeah.
So SEO, that is something that you cannot. It's still alive and well, right? Websites, especially, are still extremely important to do your SEO, and you don't have to go and. There's lots of tools that you can use, plenty of tools that will help you get your SEO for your website, right? And that's so that your blogs and things like that are still getting picked up by Google and everything else, right? So you can't ignore it, you can't avoid it, you can't forget it. It's still a necessary, right? Like part of the whole ecosystem.
Yep.
The stability ecosystem, right?
So yeah, so let me connect the dots for you guys. So when we think about your website should have your reviews on there. It should have recommendations. It should have your earned media. Like, what are all of those things that are happening that are getting your name? And there should be links, correct? Right. We just looked at a prospect's website. Even though we're not talking about doing websites for the prospect, I was looking at their website. I'm like, y'all stuff hasn't been updated since 2022. That's like, you guys have won. And here's the other thing. Awards, any awards that y'all win, those need to be on your website. And you need to link back to whatever the company was. And I know some of you poo-poo some of these awards that go out, like, oh, it's just a popularity. No, that is all link juice. We want the juice. Give me the juice. Squeeze the juice, right?
Right.
All of that is a credibility. Sorry, baby. All of that is a credibility signal to AI that you are a person to listen to. So as much as we like talk about lists and we talk about awards and we talk about, oh, you're just giving all of your information away. That information is getting picked up. It is a signal to AI that you are a credible person to be talking to have communication with. And it is so important. And I cannot stress enough that, if somebody volunteers you, not volunteers you, that doesn't sound right. So nominates, thank you, nominates you for an award, take it. Do not run away from it. Take it. You're like, yes, thank you. And then,
so I know everybody has that they kind of pull back when they're trying to, they're getting a pat on the back, for doing a good job. And that's what an award is, right? It's hey, you did a good job. We're recognizing you. And a lot of people shy away from those. They don't want to be seen as, oh, look at, they did their job and they got an award. Well, they didn't just do their job. They did it above and beyond, right? That's what the award is, right? It's a recognition of your services, of the work you've done with clients in the industry, whatever. And it's just, that's all it is. But people shy away. They pull away from being put in the spotlight, really.
Mm.
And right now, as things are going with AI and with SEO, all of those things are credibility that you shouldn't shy away from.
Right.
That's who you are.
It's
You've worked hard for it. Why pull away?
Yeah, it's an authority signal. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what AI is looking for when it comes to that searchability, discoverability, and indexability. Is this
Right.
a credible source? So interestingly enough, like I would just also like to remind people that if you are on LoopNet, if you are on CoStar, anywhere where you have a personal profile, highly, highly recommend that you go take a look at those personal profiles and then make sure that the language that is on there matches what's on your LinkedIn, matches what's on your X and your Instagram and your YouTube channel, matches what's on your website. Because again, AI, as they're pulling all of this data and information, as it pulls in all of this information and data, it's looking at those signals.
Right.
Is this the same? Is this the same? Is this the same? Is this the same? And
Yeah,
if
you don't
there
want to.
are, yes,
No, I was just agreeing with you. You don't want to give mixed signals, right? You don't want to have a profile that has things from a previous broker that you worked for,
right.
or whatever the case may be. You want to have that same information across all of your profiles matching up so that the AI isn't confused. It's not like, oh, are they still over here? I thought they were over here. It does need to have clarity.
Yeah. And it's not just AI, it's also the people that you're coming in contact with. Those people that hear about you at a conference, or maybe they saw one of your social posts, or they're talking to somebody and somebody mentioned you based on a social post. So they go and they Google you, or they go and they check out your LinkedIn. They're looking at your profile somehow. They are then going to go to ChatGPT. They're going to go to Perplexity. They're going to go to Grok, whatever, and try to figure out what your area of expertise. So they're doing their homework on you before they ever communicate with you, talk to you, DM you. And your content is answering questions about you while you're sleeping. And I actually just had this conversation with a prospect yesterday about why social media. And my answer was social media works for you 24/7. Your content will get served to your audience at any given moment. And people are scrolling 24/7. The minute they wake up, they start scrolling. They're sitting on the shitter, they're scrolling. They're freaking driving, my favorite.
Oh, I know, right? Especially here in our area.
Driving and they're scrolling, right? That's my favorite. The crotch lookers, because you can always tell they're looking down at their crotch as they're driving. I'm like, yeah, y'all are gonna crash. Anyway, though I do want to do an aside. So like having a Diet Coke and a cigarette and driving with the window down, like that was a skill, right?
That was a
I'm
skill.
just saying that was a skill. It was
Really?
the 90s. It was a skill. It was fabulous. But I digress. Okay. So what do you want someone to find when they search your name? Do you want them to find an old ass blog post that you wrote 10 years ago? Is it evergreen? Is it good content? Is it still relevant and valuable? Or do you want content that's relevant and valuable to what you're doing now? So if you want to be known as, if your intention is to be known as office tenant rep for Delaware, right? Office tenant rep in Delaware. But your content talks about leadership, it talks about motivation, it talks about networking, grabbing coffee, congratulating clients, and your normal happy holidays posts. Does that tell your prospect what you do and what you represent. I've actually talked about this before. There is a personality on social in CRE. I love their content, absolutely love it. I think it's fabulous. However, if you had asked me, because I did go look at their profile, because I was like, I actually don't know what the hell they do. I mean, I love their content, but if you asked me, 5 months prior, what do they do? I wouldn't have been able to tell you. However, I would have been able to tell you stories about their life because that's what they post, and I don't have anything wrong with that. But if I don't know what you do and I work in commercial real estate, that's an issue. If I have clients asking me, this person, what does this person do? And then they're telling me that they've gone to your website and they still don't know what you do, that's an issue. And by what you do, I mean like what your specialty is, right? What asset class do you work in or do you specialize in? Are you a generalist? And if you are, then that should be explained somewhere so they understand what it is that you do. And it's very interesting that the person I was talking to about the person that I know was like, well, I do this and I only do this, right? I don't want to work with the person if they don't know anything about that asset class.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's valid, right? Like,
right.
It's a valid concern. But
how are you supposed to work with them if you don't know anything about them as far as what they do, right? I mean, confusion, right? Back to that, to the whole confusion part. You have to be clear.
So, I think if you were to take a look at my content, if you were to take a look at Hector's content, you realize what we do. We work in social media, we work in marketing, we work on websites, CRM, right? Like that's our niche. Our content has taught the internet and has taught the audience what we're known for.
Yes.
Does your content teach the audience, teach the internet what you're known for?
Right.
It also comes down to being as simple as, when was the last time that you introduced yourself or reintroduced yourself to your audience? Oh, that's so cringy, Mo. Okay. Well, that cringe could land you a new contract, because even though this person's following you on social, on whatever platform, they still don't know what it is that you do because you do not talk about it. Well, I don't want to be that person, Mo. Okay. Do you want to be a broke ass buster, or do you actually want to start transacting with people and making money? If you don't tell people what you do, guess where you're going to wind up?
Well, I mean, when you cold call, right? Or when you just make your calls, right? And it's a whole new person that you're calling for the first time. Do you tell them what you do?
Yes.
Or do you expect them to guess? It's the same thing, whether it's online, whether it's on a phone call, or whether it's in person. If you're looking at transacting, you can't have them guessing. You have to be clear. Right. Hi, I'm calling to let you know that I have a building for lease. I do leases, right? Or whatever the case may be. But
Robin has a great point. The flip side is that if people don't know what you do, how can they refer or connect people to help? Yes, 100%, Robin, 100%. I just had this conversation with a not necessarily a client or a prospect. We're just kind of yapping. And I made the offhand comment. I was like, you're active on Facebook, right? And they're like, yeah. And I said, when was the last time that you actually told your Facebook community who you are and what it is that you do? And he's like, I've never done that. I said, why wouldn't you do that? You know, people in business, they work in industrial. You know, people in business that are looking for space, or they know business owners who are looking for space. If your audience doesn't know what you freaking do, how can they make the connection?
Yes.
You know what you do. Nobody else does.
Right.
And that's kind of the weird thing when I get that for commercial real estate brokers, it's really challenging because when people hear real estate, they leave out the commercial. Like they conveniently ignore the commercial.
Right. They go to residential right away.
They go to residential, right?
Well, I don't have a house. Okay.
Yeah. They immediately go to residential. When you say commercial real estate, they forget that part, right? And they're like, oh, you sell houses? No, I don't sell houses. I sell buildings, or I lease, space, or I find big boxes and I cannot, I find big boxes and I cannot lie. But that's the thing. It's like, you never know the connections that somebody else has that might need what you have.
Right.
And I find that it's such a weird thing. It's like, you're so willing to talk about yourself on LinkedIn, but when it comes to something personal like Facebook, I don't want to sell on Facebook. You're not selling. You're telling people what it is that you do. And somebody in that audience knows someone that needs what you have. It's such a strange thing to me. So one of the things when it comes to content and thinking about, is it searchable, right? So we're talking today about your social media strategy needing a search strategy. One of the things is the question shouldn't be, what should I post today? The question should be, what does my ideal client or prospect want to know?
Yes.
And real conversations equal real content. Real conversations equal real content. And they immediately go to a broker, but there's so much more. Yes. Yeah. There is so much more in real estate. DB is a perfect example of that. Instead of what should I post, what was the last real conversation that I had with a client or prospect? The questions and conversations that you have with those people, that's your target audience. That is your avatar. Yes. You should be creating content based on those conversations. Now, I'm not saying you're going to name drop. I'm not saying that you're going to talk about confidential stuff. I'm talking about, this prospect had a question about this. That prospect is my ideal client and avatar. Imagine that. I was talking to them. Oh, then my other prospect / ideal client / avatar would also have the same question. Maybe that should be some content that I put out there, because this was the conversation that we had. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. I think the challenge with a lot of people is they get stuck in their head and they're like, oh, well, this isn't interesting. Your freaking client found it interesting. Your prospect found it interesting, or else they wouldn't have asked you the question.
Yes. No, 100%. No, you should start looking at the kind of questions that you're being asked, or the conversation, like you said, the conversations you're having, right? Those questions that are being brought up, and that should be the content. This isn't when you go to your search, you're not just putting in like looking, let's take, for example, you're looking for a new car, a 2026 Lincoln, whatever, right?
You getting me a new car?
Oh, that'd be nice. The search terms are more about, what's the reliability of the Lincoln 2026, blah, 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 right? It's more of a question, not just a specific make model of a car that you're looking for, but you're asking an entire question.
Yep.
And so the AIs are now, and the search engines are now going out and they're looking for, they're grabbing bits and pieces from around the web to create what you're looking for, right? Giving you a full answer rather than just a specific, this is what the car looks like. This is the gas mileage on it.
Right.
This is whatever the case may be, right? On that specific car. It's giving you
like the Kelley Blue Book information, right, or what kind of safety rating it got from the National Highway Institute of whatever, right?
Right. It's not giving you analyticals. It's giving you more of a an experience, let's say, an experience from people that have driven it, people that have purchased it, people that have found issues with it. It's giving you a complete picture, or should I say a more complete picture than just, this is the gas mileage on it. Well, that's great.
Yeah, and it's also not just giving you dealership information either. So, right. So it's giving you a more well-rounded picture. And here's an interesting thought. As you were talking about that, I was thinking about the last couple times that I've done a Google search and the AI answers have come up. And I've gotten the AI answer and I just take the AI answer and I don't even scroll anymore. So if isn't that a weird, like, I'm thinking about it from my own perspective. Think about the last time that you did a Google search. Did you just go with the AI answer, or did you actually scroll down and look for more? I'm finding more and more that I'm not even scrolling down because I'm reading the little synopsis that it gives me. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it has a source. Like there's usually a source of where they got that information. Most of the time, well, depending on what it is, I usually click on the source so that I can go read what the article was or whatever that source material is, because that's actually what I want. And it's so weird because it reminds me back when, so like when I did news in 2004, I used to have, they weren't Google alerts. We had Google, right? Then in 2004, I used Yahoo News all the time. So I had Yahoo News set up where I had like all these RSS feeds that brought in all the information for Southeast Arizona. And so I would have all these alerts set up. And it used to give me like the synopsis and then the source code. Not the source code, the source of where it came from.
The source, yeah.
And I love that. I forget when Yahoo News stopped doing that. It really kind of sucked. But DB says he goes straight to AI now. Just straight to AI. That's it. DB, let us know which one is your favorite. Are you using Chat? Are you using Claude, Perplexity? Manus? Manus has been interesting.
Yeah, Manus is pretty good.
Lots of people talking about Manus. Anyway, so, but that's the thing. It's like, I think because my brain's already wired like that to like go for the source code, or keep seeing source code. Just go to the source. For me, that's a signal of like, oh, this is credible, right? Like they're actually pulling this from something. It's not, they're not making it up. I'm also the person that will go and follow a story back to its origin. So I'll like, you know, a lot of times the news that you get is a regurgitation of somebody else's report. That's a regurgitation of somebody else's report that then you have to go back and find. And it's like, I want the original source. So I will go and I will follow the little, you know, breadcrumbs throughout the internet. Again, that's how my brain works. I want to see where it came from the original source. But it is an interesting thing to think about that now we're just, even if we're doing a Google search, we're just taking the AI answer and just leaving with that. I wonder if they'll start to come out with stats on that, like how fast, or if that stat is even available. Just follow my brain. Okay. Just follow like how fast somebody puts a search term in and then they get the AI answer and then they're done. Right. Instead of just scrolling page after page after page. So SEO, AEO, and GEO. Remember, SEO helps you get found. AEO is help you answer the question. And then GEO, that's the Generative Engine Optimization, is help generative systems understand and use your expertise so that you become the go-to expert. All three are important. All three are relevant. Don't have somebody tell you that SEO is dead. It is not dead. It has evolved, really.
Right. Yeah.
All the stuff that you did for websites before, meta tags, meta descriptions, schema markup, frequently asked questions, all of that stuff still applies and is more relevant. Now it's actually probably even, I would say, far more relevant because you can really dial in what you need. Sometimes I'm like the guy that views DVD or VHS tape. So with that said, Chat, not the others yet. That's fine. I move between Chat and Claude. Those are the two that I use. I've talked about this before. I use Gemini very rarely. That's not true. I use Gemini when I'm doing blog posts for alt text for image, comma separated keywords, and meta descriptions for the snippet. That's what I use Gemini for because it's already built into Google browser. So that's literally how I use Gemini. I don't use it for anything else, which is probably pathetic. But we have all these options. So how do you make your social searchable? So you have to think about the entire like ecosystem, right? The marketing ecosystem. And one question can become, chat hadn't let you down yet. You should make sure that it's not lying to you, because it might just say stuff that you want to hear. Be like, is this true? Can you back this up? But one question becomes an entire ecosystem. So take one client question. Like if we're talking about being a tenant rep for office, should I renew my office lease or relocate? This becomes a LinkedIn post where you can outline, and it's a conversation. It is not just boom, 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 outlining. It's a conversation. I was recently talking with a client and we were discussing their options, right? They were asking me, should I renew my office lease or should I relocate? Here are the 3 things that I told them that they should consider, right? And this is part of the conversation. It also becomes a LinkedIn article. Remember, LinkedIn articles are being indexed by AI. YouTube, LinkedIn, and Reddit are the 3 main sources where a lot of this content and information comes from. So LinkedIn, you can write the LinkedIn article. Should you renew your office lease or relocate? A guide for tenants. Freaking AI loves guides. Loves them. Why? Yeah. Because they have steps, right? They're categorized. There's a whole like list. They love lists. AI loves lists because it's easily readable and it's easy for it to categorize. Then you're going to go to YouTube, right? I'm giving you the whole, I am like right now, I'm giving you the whole social just structure. Okay. Then you're going to go to YouTube and you're going to do like a 5 to 8 minute video answering this question. Oh, I don't like being on video. Yeah. You don't like being on video. Okay.
Well, you can do faceless. Just do audio.
You can do audio 100%. You can do a faceless video where it's basically, think about you doing your own little podcast, a 5 to 7 minute podcast, and it's audio. Now, if you're going to do the audio version, you might as well throw it up on Spotify too and do an MP3 version. You can also do video on Spotify. That's a thing that they've had going. He's afraid. His chat is afraid of him. So YouTube has said that relevance, engagement, and quality are core search factors. And relevance includes how well the title, description, tags, and actual video content match the search query. So you're going to see a lot of people working on their YouTube channels, and I have no doubt in 2020, the rest of 2026 and going into 2027, because that is no pun intended, valuable real estate to be investing in to get those titles, tags, descriptions correct so that you are searchable. Oh, wow. Interesting. I say, chat, go to these companies and give me their OMs. It saves me so much time. I love it. The next step is your website. You should have a detailed article containing the answer. Now, here's the thing. Here's a little cheat. You can take the LinkedIn article that you already did and turn that into a blog post. Now, you don't want duplicate content. So think about that. That's a key word for you to know. It's duplicate content. But what you want to do is you want to use what you already have and repurpose it. Make sure that the FAQs are done, right? You should fill out FAQs. When should I start evaluating my office lease renewal? That should be one of the questions that you answer on your website because that'll get picked up.
Now, on the questions, you also want to make sure that you stay relevant to the information that's on your website, right? So it could be based off of just, well, you want to mix it up. You want to have FAQs that answer what you do and how you help and things like that. But you also want to reference some of your blog posts, right? And those FAQs should be changed out every so often. That is one of the things about the website. The website should be a living, breathing piece of your marketing. It's not a one and done. It should be evolving, right? When you add your blogs, that's new. And when you do your blog, you should also look at your FAQ and maybe adjust it a little bit to either reference a new blog post or reference, in general, what your blogs are about, so that when somebody goes there, they have more information than just what you would find maybe 2 years ago. If you have a website that hasn't been touched in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, what kind of information, is that information even relevant anymore, right?
Well, and I mean, here's the thing. Even if you have evergreen content, you still need to update the evergreen content.
Exactly. So going back to blog posts, so if it's an evergreen blog post, you should go in there every now and then and look at it and maybe structure it differently, maybe rewrite it so that, again, it's a new, fresh blog post versus just something that you wrote 2 years ago.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and then once you do that, then you take that and you throw it into an email. Hey, check out my latest. And you give them a reason why they would want to click the link to go read the blog post, right? And remember, all this content that we're talking about is from one freaking question that we asked at the top, which was, tenant, should I renew my office lease or relocate?
Right.
From one question. So we've had a LinkedIn post, LinkedIn article, YouTube video. We've talked about putting it on your blog as a blog post, having it as an FAQ. Now we've gone into email, sending it out as an email, right? Then from the 5 to 7 minute or 8 minute video that you did, you take a 45-second clip from that. That's another piece of content. And the other thing too is that you can send any of this content to a prospect. You can text it to them. Hey, take a look at this article that I just wrote. It reminded me of the conversation that we had a couple weeks ago, right? If if you had any questions or if something wasn't clear, I hope I clarified it in this piece that I did, right? So you're not inventing 7 or 8 different pieces of content. You're taking one piece of content and breaking it down and making it work for you. Notice we touched social, we touched website, we touched email. That is the entire marketing ecosystem. And you are providing something of value.
And the whole purpose of that is to what? Is to get somebody into your CRM, right? That is the funnel that leads back down to your CRM, because you want them in your CRM. You don't want to lose a potential client or a potential, business right there. You want to capture them and be able to touch them again and again and again. How many times does it take for somebody to work with you? How many touches generally? There's 7, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I think so.
7 touches at minimum before somebody will either call you, contact you, DM you, or whatever the case may be, right? It's a constant, hey, how you doing?
Right. It's a constant handshake. I'm here. I exist. This is what I do. This is my expertise. This is my value. Instead of, I think we should probably actually stop here. We'll probably continue this. Actually, we will continue this on Thursday because this is a long episode. But I want you guys to think about the fact that where does AI fit into all of this? Besides the fact that does your social strategy have a search strategy, right? Because we're looking at it from the perspective of, can AI find you? Does AI understand what you do based on the content that you're producing across multiple platforms? I learned that from you, man. I learned that from you. God, that's dated. You know, I don't know how many people, the younger generation anymore, would get that reference. Where did you get this? But this is how my brain works. That's literally where my brain went. So where does AI fit into this? And we do need to have this conversation on Thursday about AI slop and the AI slop button now available on LinkedIn. It's technically not a button. I want to leave you with this, which is an interesting stat that came out. I shared it on Cup of Joe with Corey and Mo yesterday, and there was a study that was done by an AI startup, which I thought was interesting. They studied 57,000 LinkedIn posts. Okay, 57,000 LinkedIn posts. They went into the comments, and 30% of the comments made in those LinkedIn posts were all AI generated bot comments. So I think when we're talking about AI slop and we're talking about those things that are happening on LinkedIn, like I said, I think this is AI slop. Do I think that that's a good idea to have that? No, I don't think that's a good idea, because I see people weaponizing it because people are assholes and they'll do that stuff. I've lived through the Facebook wars. Okay. I've lived through that. I've been on my computer until midnight trying to get reviews off of a page because we had another company come and just flame the shit out of our page and bring our reviews down. Yes, that happens.
A little petty.
It's super petty, super petty. But that doesn't mean that people don't do it, right?
Oh no, they do, for sure.
So on Thursday, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about AI slop, where AI fits into this whole strategy of making sure that your social media has a search strategy, and how to build topic authority and your search strategy audit. We're going to give you some keys and some questions that you should be asking yourself if you are searchable, indexable, and discoverable by AI in 2026. Everybody who's joined us this morning, we got Brent, we got DB, we had Alan Buchanan, we got other people on here, Robin Hendricks. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah.